One's an inanimate object, one's praising good behavior. Why can we not condemn evil behavior?
By the way, the mayor is now speaking.
Oh, the mayor? Okay, let's see. If he does an anti-gun thing, I'm going to lose my mind.
With us for those who are currently at U of L Hospital, injured, fighting for their lives as a result of another act of gun violence.
There you go. What did I just tell you? Okay, let's hear what he has to say. Before the bodies are cold.
The brave and heroic.
Meanwhile, he's being protected by police and guns.
Exactly. The entire time.
How much you want to bet the mayor's got a gun at his house?
Their efforts quickly responded to the emergency call. And as you just heard from Deputy Chief Humphrey, without a doubt, their actions saved lives.
What actions? Why do you only vilify the gun? Think about this for a second. Just vilified the gun when it came to the criminal and the shooter, but praised the actions, the behavior of the police. Why is one about an inanimate object and not the behavior, not the evil, not the actions of the shooter, but it's about the heroic actions of the cops? Let me give you an apples-to-apples comparison. Used a gun to shoot, they used a gun to stop. Now, since it's a wash, let's get to the fucking behavioral pattern. Let's get to the evil that's taking place, which is, by the way, is the only true through line when you look at this crime wave across the country. It happens across the country in red states. It happens in blue states. It largely happens in blue cities. People use guns. People use different weapons. People use trucks. They're always stopped by someone with a gun, but he goes, this act of gun violence, and then they acted heroically. One's an inanimate object. One's praising good behavior. Why can we not condemn evil behavior?
Well,
they're not allowed to do it.
Let me ask this question. We're winning the Second Amendment battle. More people are buying guns. They're learning. They're using it. I know big gun shop owners all over the country. They say mainly it's liberals now buying guns. So people are finally getting, they've got to take their safety into their own hands. But we know stabbings, rapes, shootings, stuff is going up. It went up in the 60s and 70s and 80s, and about 92. Shootings went down by about half. Now as culture falls apart again, it's going way back up again. And everybody in common sense goes, I'm a good person. You're a good person. We're not out raping and shooting and murdering. So we deserve our guns. We all get that. I think we're winning the culture war, but the left is really not giving up. How are they going to manipulate it to try to come up with the guns, which they now admit, hell yes, we'll take your AR-15.
Well, what's going to happen, I think, and we're actually going to get to this story of Sergeant Perry, Daniel Perry, in Austin, in your hometown. I think what it is, no, here's exactly what will happen. It won't happen on a federal level like the assault weapons ban that they did before. I don't believe that that's going to happen. The things are going to happen on a state level, and what they're going to do is make you so afraid to defend yourself, so afraid to use your firearm, depending on the marginalized class who might be committing the crime that day, that it renders it all but useless.
That's the answer.
Yeah. And we have the governor now speaking, if we want to go to that, just to see if he parrots the same line.
Yeah.
The call, and there is no doubt in my mind that their efforts saved lives, and they put their own on the line. And we have at least one officer in surgery right now that is there because he took those actions to try to protect the people of Louisville. I want to thank Louisville Fire, Louisville Metro EMS, and Emergency Management and the Louisville Sheriff's Office for the immediate response. They've now been joined by the FBI, ATF,
that is better
Homeland
than,
Security.
Uvalde, Texas. I love that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm ashamed that Texas acted like that. 76 minutes.
Yeah. Well, at least
thumbs up their ass.
They're thinking more about their pension than they are about actually doing their job.
Kids could be, they were dying, and they sat there and put hand sanitizer on.
That makes you sick.
I have a very close friend that didn't make it today. And I have another close friend who didn't either, and one who's at the hospital that I hope is going to make it through. So when we talk about praying, I hope people will. For those that we are hoping can make it through the surgeries that they're going through, and then we've got to do what we have done these last 3 years after everything. We've got to wrap our arms around these families.
Good.
And to everybody who needs it, don't be afraid to get some help. Our bodies and our minds are not meant to go through these types of tragedies. And so I hope that all the brave officers that stepped into the line of fire, that are worried about one of their fellow officers, will reach out for help when they need it. I hope every one of those bank employees and folks in that building, one that I know well, and my AG campaign was out of that building. I know virtually everyone in it. That's my bank. I hope that they will all reach out and get the help that they need. There are a lot of people that are hurting today. And if we have a place to focus our energy, I hope it is to surround them with the love and the compassion that we have been so good at showing one another. I want people to know that while today is a horrific act, I do believe that this is a safe community with officers doing their very best each and every day, and that's what we saw here.
And see, that's not really a true statement.
No, Louisville is not a safe community.
No community's totally safe. So again, you're safe. You don't need guns, and we don't mention that the officers use guns to stop them.
Yeah, I actually appreciate what he did compared to the mayor.
Oh yeah,
mayor's first words almost.
Yeah, he's not done. Let me hear if you
try to save some of my friends and many others. Thank y'all.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I think that was generally, but no, we were just in Louisville. We were talking about it, and it was absolutely horrible. I mean, they could give Detroit a run for its money because it's like to take Detroit and add bourbon.
Well, we were in Austin. A lot of it looks like Detroit.
Yeah, it's a totally different city.
Why do you live in Austin? Well, I've been there since high school. My mom's from there. My family's been there since the 1820s. But yes, I have to get out of Austin. It is ruined now.
You absolutely have to get out of Austin. Hootie is signaling to me. Is there something that just happened breaking?
Louisville is actually a complete shithole. The researchers sent in numbers that they had a higher homicide rate in 2020.
Homicide rate.
Did you say homicide?
Yeah.
Homicide.
Yeah, homicide is just the parties that Kevin Spacey threw.
In Philadelphia, Atlanta, and
good.
Chicago.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, no, it's okay. Was it more
than Philadelphia, Atlanta, and Chicago?
Yeah, I watched someone, I'm pretty sure, die in Louisville that day.
So does that make Louisville like the capital of murder?
Well, it's again, none of these places are very accurate with how they measure crime. For example, you look at Detroit where the murder rate was going, and then all of a sudden it dropped. It's just because they stopped counting some of them.
Well, remember last year the FBI put out the numbers that crime had actually dropped by 0.2%, and then it turned out 100 plus cities, they just didn't count any of the crime there in the numbers.
Right, yeah. Louisville was terrible. We were just talking about this. I went to Walgreens. They had socks behind glass. Yeah. They had socks behind glass like you were shopping at Zales.
Why were you in?
I was doing just a stand-up show in Louisville, and it was a lot of fun. The crowds there were great.
Great people in Kentucky.
Yeah, great people in Kentucky. And of course, when I went out and I started making fun of Louisville, I said, this is probably where you pay. I'm not going to. And I just started talking about how terrible this is, and everyone was cheering. They knew it. So for this, and I understand you can't come out, you're the mayor, right, or you're the governor. You can't say, hey, this is a crappy city because we've dropped the ball.
But don't lie and say it's safe.
Yeah, don't say.
He should have been like these sheriffs. Everybody used to get a gun and learn how to use it to protect yourself because there's a lot of maniacs out there.
Well, and I want to piggyback off of that. So we've got Mr. Guns and Gear, not on the show today, but we're going to talk to him because having a firearm, that's not enough. You need to understand how to use it. You need to avoid some pitfalls. I was talking with a buddy about this. Like if somebody comes up to your car and you're carrying and it's in the front, okay, now they're there. You got to get your shirt out of the way. You got to get the seatbelt out of the way. There's little things like that to be prepared to defend your life. And it could come down to 1 or 2 seconds difference.
It's the situational awareness.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff. We'll talk about some videos with him to make sure that people are not only getting the right firearms.
Yeah, he does a good job.
Sure, they know how to use them in this situation.
He does a good job of balancing. Where you have some people who just say no guns, and then you have some people who are gun enthusiasts. I've watched someone, I won't say who, I watched someone at a gun conference say, I train 4 hours a day every day with my gun, and if you don't train at minimum 2 hours a day, 6 days a week, you might as well not have one. Mm-hmm. That's complete and total horse crap. That's not true. You do need to go to a range. You do need to be very familiar with your equipment. This is why I always say you have these gun hobbyist channels, and it makes it inaccessible to people where you'll have someone with and there's nothing wrong with them having 500 guns.
But they're all trying to over-impress everybody else.
Exactly. Right, I want 50 people with one gun more than I want one person with 50 guns.
I think a lot of it is about the youth getting in proper training, because when I was young, my dad took me shooting every month or so to his ranch that was just a few hours south of Dallas. Now I've gotten so busy, sometimes I only shoot once or twice a year, and I do have a lot of guns. Sometimes I have to kind of remember, this one does it that way, and check things. But I mean, I can still take a 300 Win Mag and shoot 2-inch groups at 400 yards. I've got 9mm handguns. I can shoot little bitty steel targets at 100 yards. Even though I haven't been out shooting in 6 months, get it out. Yeah. Red dot. Doom, 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 doom.
Yeah, there are ways to make it easier for people, and like you said, the situational awareness is what's most.
Well, it's like riding a bike. Once you get it,
yeah,
you get it. But the situational awareness, exactly. Doesn't matter how well you know how to use a gun. If you're just sitting there not paying attention, and then somebody carjacks you, it's already over.
Using a firearm is closer to riding a bike in that you keep it. But situational awareness is a perishable skill. If you don't keep it up, you lose it. And I see it with people who kind of relax, and then all of a sudden you're going, "How did you not notice that, man? How did you not see this happening?" There was a situation this weekend, which I'll tell you about. I'll tell you about off air. It was a bad encounter with some Comic-Con like trannies.
Yeah. Well, there's one thing I didn't know. This same friend this weekend told me. And you remember the Whitesboro church shooting?
Yeah.
Where a good guy with a gun stopped him? Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't realize one of the other guys was carrying, but he had it on his back.
Yeah.
It took 4.3 seconds, I think, is the time that he had to where he could have shot that guy and saved his life and 2 other people who ended up dying before the next gun came and actually stopped him.
Right.
It was just that split difference between being able to access it. There was just so many. I was just like, I can't believe it. Like, just having it, not enough. Making sure you know how to use it, are ready to use it. That's
so I don't know if we want to move on here to this segment in Austin because it's real. Or look, CNN right now is on. I can make the predictions what's going to happen. They're going to have a string of guests and panelists. What are they going to do? They're not only
Are
going
we
to talk
going to
about
allow this to happen again? Never again. Meanwhile, they don't tell you that England has way less gun crime, they don't have any guns, but their knife crime is way worse and overall murder rate's higher.
Well, they'll also say that it's the number one killer of youth, which is not of children, which is not true. They'll use that. They'll say that you're more likely to have a gun used against you if you have one in the house. That's not true. They won't cite the actual numbers of defensive use.
What, you mean CNN lies?
Yeah. I'm just trying to let you know, let's see what they have these people on. Let's see what they say right now if they're trying to trot out these old, tired lines.
Is to get the money and use it at some stage. And bank personnel are trained and they know that. In other words, they will not engage the shooter. They will give the person money and they want them to go.
Yeah, he wasn't there for the money. It's believed that he has a connection to the bank. Maybe he was a former employee of the bank.
Yeah, this just shows CNN does not know what they're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you instantly got the point.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like something. I mean, again, it wouldn't make sense. Someone who wants the motive is very different. Someone wants money. They want to get away.
One person.
Yeah,
that makes the point.
At most, you want to shoot nobody.
No. I'm saying like if a gunman comes in and is going to shoot somebody, you shoot one person. That makes the point. Everybody else knows not to act. You get the money and you leave. 13 people.
Right.
Is what the number looks like. It seems like it's changing. So now
they just said 4 people killed, at least 8 hurt.
Maybe they were counting the gunman in that total initially.
Oh, were they?
Yeah. I don't know.
I hate it when they do that.
I hate it when they're like,
I'll tell you what I'm impressed by. I see all these videos where somebody comes to the store or tries to rob somebody jogging, and folks are getting good with their guns, way better than I would be. I mean, the good guys are getting. We're like, I mean, they're like,
yeah. There's some people out there who really know what they're doing.
Yeah,
yeah. It's one of those things. I mean, so many people in this office are carrying, for crying out loud. I mean, open carrying, concealed carrying. It's one of those things. It's just not concerning when you understand who is carrying, why they're carrying, and that people who have concealed carry permits. And then it makes you feel super secure to know there's like 15 guns.
Well,
it's the lowest criminality rate of it is concealed carry permit holders. It's lower than off-duty police officers. Right. They are the least likely people to commit a crime in this country because of the higher standards. And this is the
because of the people that want to actually go through this. But here's an example: you don't see mass shooters attacking police stations because they know there's a bunch of guns in there.
Right.
They go to the things that they know have been disarmed, that are those zones where they can commit a lot of evil.
Or, well, in this case, it seems like he would have had to jump on them because there would be people with guns in a bank. But
he had a mission, obviously.
He had a mission.
I'm assuming it's a he, by the way. I'm not saying that because I've seen that.
Oh, my gosh.
Just because 99% of shooters are men until now with this woman.
Right.
That's true.
Woman to be fair, the woman was actually a man.
Taken chemically.
Right.
Yes.
It is a he.
It is a he.
It
gotcha.
is a he.
Yeah.
It is a he.
I mean,
the shooter. Do we know anything about the shooter right now? Do we know the shooter? Is there a mugshot of the shooter?
They do not know the circumstances of his death at this time. We do not have a picture. We're getting updates as we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then let's move on to.
Those officers are heroes who did their job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Watch Louder with Crowder live, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.